Greetings, dear listeners. Hope you're all doing well. This is going to be a bit of a short one tonight because we're down here by the shores of the Wascana Creek, and we're under attack by winged vampires, mosquitoes. We've had a lot of wet and humid weather lately, and when we have wet and humid weather, we get mosquitoes, and we also get fog. Hi, Warren. We have a small cabin on an acreage about 45 minutes out of town. You can take the boy out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the boy. I've been out there on and off, even during lockdown, working around the place or simply relaxing. Out there, you don't get a lot of traffic or strange cars, but we've been getting them this summer. Enough for me to worry about break-ins or partying on the property. I was out there for a few hours a couple of days ago, just checking that the place was secure. And I noticed an old white car drive slowly past, and I was sure I'd seen it before, although I didn't think it belonged to anybody local. I managed to get the numbers on the license plate. 666. Ominous, eh? It's been exceptionally cool and wet, with a lot of moisture and humidity, hence fog. We don't usually get fog, but when we do, it's the real pea soup variety. As I was getting ready to leave, I noticed fog starting to form in the ditches and low spots, and by the time I reached the highway, I had to put on my headlights. Light, as you know, does strange things in fog, and as I headed into town, I kept noticing white lights off to the side, at the periphery of my vision. At first I just thought it was a halo, caused by my lights in the thickening fog, but then I saw that the light on my side was what appeared to be a human head. I couldn't get a good look at it, but it was pale with lank black hair streaming out behind it. I shot a quick glance to my right and saw a second head. Again, I couldn't make out any features, but I thought it was female. They kept pace with me as I drove along, even though I was going at a good clip. I might still have believed the thing was an optical illusion, but then the heads turned towards each other and flitted across the front of the car, directly over the hood and directly in front of the windshield. I automatically hit the brakes, which sent me into a skid, but I was able to pull out of it. I also slowed down, which was dangerous on a busy highway in fog. I didn't want to get rear-ended. The heads then repeated the maneuver several times, forcing me to repeatedly brake, so I decided my only hope was to speed up and try to outrun them. Another dicey maneuver on a busy road and poor visibility. And it didn't work, as the heads switched tactics. Flying. I guess you would call it flying. Flying on ahead. A head, no pun intended. Flying on ahead, then turning and streaking right at my windshield. I was sure they were going to hit me, and slamming on the brakes hard, I fishtailed and ended up on the shoulder of the road, where I stayed for the next half hour. The heads reappeared, leering at me through the windows, sticking their tongues out, even licking the windows. Licking my windows during a pandemic. Gross. And they called out to me by name. How did those things know my name? At one point, the heads lay side by side on the hood, facing me and trying to hypnotize me with their glowing, pulsing red eyes. It almost worked, but man, those were two ugly-looking people. They took off in a hurry, however, when I whipped out my phone to film them. I waited a few minutes to see if they were coming back and to wait for the fog to dissipate, but then I noticed a person approaching. The fog made them hard to see at first. But as they reached the front of the car, I saw that they were female, dressed in black with a cape and no head. Wow. Now, is that ever a big mosquito? With no head. I swear to God, they didn't have a head. I floored it out of there and hit them straight on, running them over. I must have killed her. Killed it? But there was nothing in the media about the discovery of a headless body. So what were those things? Were they the things you called night floaters? Name withheld. Well, name withheld. They were indeed night floaters. And I wouldn't worry about hurting them any. They are pretty indestructible. And as a matter of fact, I think your rather vigorous response will discourage them from bothering you in future. But, dear listeners, we are getting eaten alive, so I am going to wrap things up here. But how do you discourage pests? And by that, I mean insect pests, not human pests. Please share your home remedies and your ideas and your tips in the comments down below. And stay safe, stay subscribed, ring the bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Feel free to share this video or any of my materials. If this is your first visit to my channel, please consider subscribing. My name is Warren. I write and tell original horror stories about the night floaters, werewolves, black-eyed children, and even winged vampires. And of course, let's all make like mosquitoes and stay hungry. I'm now going to ask the lovely and talented camera crew to give us a panorama shot of Wascana Creek directly behind me, and maybe get a bit of the downtown area of Regina, as long as she's able to, as long as she still has blood in her veins. So, till midnight, cheers. Oh, ouch. Oh, ow, oh, ow.